Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. Using the fairy ring code BJP, we are reaching our location for today's video, featuring the Isle of Souls and 10 hours of Forgotten Souls. It's a little bit of a run from the fairy ring, but back when I did a video on these quite a few years ago, there was no fairy ring, so I am thankful that Jagex added that in here. Definitely a good shortcut to reach this area. The gear for this video was just a set of obsidian, as well as a whip, ring of wealth, and a salve amulet, since they are a ghost, or I mean a soul, but I think it's the same thing. The inventory featuring the gem bag, herb sack, and rune pouch. The rune pouch obviously for high alks. Herb sack definitely important to bring here because most of your profit is going to be coming from the herbs, and other than this, the rune pouch will provide you with all the rest of the profit because that will be all of the battle staves that these Forgotten Souls drop, and it'll all be high alked. Now luckily these Forgotten Souls are only level 20 and you can kill them on the first floor, the second floor, or the third floor. I know floor can be looked at differently depending on where you live, but I'm sure you guys get the point. I chose the third floor personally just because it seemed to be the best spawns, and yeah, I enjoyed it more than the other two options. These are such low level that you really don't need to bring any food here unless you yourself are a very low level. They have 50 HP, so most of the time I imagine you're not going to be one-hitting them, but they are very low defense, and if you bring a salve amulet, your DPS will go up a little bit more, so you'll probably kill them in a couple hits, or a little bit more depending on what level you are. These came into the game January 6th, 2021. This was a part of the Soul Wars and the Isle of Souls update. I really do wish they put more different ghost-related monsters in this Isle of Souls. I did run past some Pyre Fiends and Pyre Lords, but that was about it. I know there's other things around here, but nothing too new, I really wish they capitalized more with that update. I think Soul Wars was a great update. I've actually never made a video myself on it before, but the Forgotten Souls I have visited before in the past, and here we are once again adding them to yet again another 10-hour video and the 10-hour series. I know I've been showing a lot of my Iron Man recently, and that's mainly because all of my main related videos are complete. I just have to wait for approval to put them out. Finally getting some sponsors this month, ladies and gentlemen, so that's why you guys are seeing so much of the Iron Man, but I made sure to add in a couple interesting clips at the end of the video after the price check, just to kind of keep you guys updated on what I've been doing on this account. So for the most part, the drops on these Forgotten Souls, as you can imagine, aren't the greatest because they are such low level, but they are pretty decent compared to, other things of this combat level. So as it goes for the alkables, you have the Steel Longsword, Earth Battle Staff, Fire, Air, and Water Battle Staff, and that's all 1 in 128. Decent, 10k alks there. I think the Steel Longsword's like 140 GP, but it all adds up. And then you also have a pretty weird drop of Black Robe and Black Skirt, as well as a Black Wizard Hat, which is all 1 in 128 as well. I didn't really, go out of my way to pick those up, but if I had inventory space, which most of the time I did, yeah, I figured I'd just throw it in the bank. The respawn time of each Forgotten Soul is 30 seconds, so by the time I was done killing the spawn of 4, I usually have to wait about 5 to 6 more seconds for them to all spawn once again, and then I would just, completely do the same thing over and over again. I think the only thing I wish would be different is that there'd be a spawn of 6, because if that was the case, then I would never have to worry about just waiting for them to spawn, but in the long run, really didn't affect the kills per hour too much. As it goes for bringing an herb sack, I didn't really bother picking up the Guam, Marintel, or Terraman, but upwards of Hardlander up to Dwarfweed, I picked up all of those herbs. Renard definitely being the most profitable one. You can get 1 or 2, just depends on how generous these Forgotten Souls are feeling, and that can be anywhere from 6.6k to 13k. But obviously, as an Iron Man account, those are all going to be used for prayer potions, so I figure this is a pretty decent monster to acquire a nice little cash stack and a decent amount of herbs at the end of the video. Other than this, they do have 3 separate coin drops, so that's why I was wearing a Ring of Wealth, and the only unfortunate thing about wearing a Ring of Wealth, which I'm actually experiencing on a main video right now, is that if you just get the coin drop and that's it, then it doesn't count towards your RuneLite loot tracker, because those coins go directly into your inventory. You don't have to pick them up or anything, so the kills shown at the end are actually a little bit less than the overall kills, if that makes sense. I hope they update this one of these days, but I don't see that happening, so I'll just just keep wearing my Ring of Wealth anyway. Now, as it goes for the stackables that I kept in the inventory the whole time, you have Law Rune, Mind Rune, Air Rune, Earth, Water, Body, and Nature Runes. I don't think I was able to keep any Nature Runes from this video because I was using all of them for high alching, so, I mean, it's better than using my own, I guess. But I did get a nice stack of Law Runes. All the other runes weren't that useful, but, you know, it's an Iron Man account. I'll still pick up everything. And alongside this, they also drop Mithril Bolts in a quantity of 12 to 24. I would usually bank once every 2 hours or so. I think that sounds about right. Whenever I'd run out of superset and my, you know, stats would go back to 99, that's usually when I would bank. Of course, on Deflect the whole time, trying to get some more defense XP. Didn't really get as much XP in this one compared to the Worm video, but needless to say, we are still going for that long-term goal. And just a little bit about Forgotten Souls. They are undead, they are spectral. The examine text is, all that they once were has been lost to time. Sounds kind of depressing, honestly, but they are an interesting little monster. They are found in the Crumbling Tower on the Isle of Souls, and according to the wiki, their stats and drop table are similar to those of Chaos Druids, although they have more hit points and they are classified as ghosts, so you can wear a Salve Amulet here, and you can't do that at Chaos Druids. This was a pretty laid-back video. I was finishing up 10 hours of Volcano on my main account, which you guys should see on Monday, and then once I finish that up, I am working on an excellent video that I'm very proud of that you guys will see tomorrow night, and that is loot from 10 hours of Revenant Imps. I cannot wait to show you guys that video. I got the idea from the comments section, so as always, if you ever have any suggestions on what you want to see done for a time span of 10 hours, leave it in the comments below, and I'm sure I'll get to it one day. I still have a very long list and a lot of bookmarks. Well, with 1 hour left to go, overall you can kind of see the loot in the inventory, about 680k in AUX so far, getting close to that 700k mark, almost 500 Law Runes, and as you can see, just a bare minimum amount of Nature Runes left from all the high alching that I've done. 800 Mithril Bolts almost, so, you know, decent for lower levels to acquire a little bit of ammunition if you're using the crossbow. I feel like they're not that useful because most people use Dorgeshan crossbow or magic shortbow, but, you know, needless to say, if you want to use the crossbow, you'll have plenty of bolts from killing these Forgotten Souls. And you can't discount all those robes and black wizard hats. I mean, you know, those are something. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, loot from 10 hours of Forgotten Souls has been completed. It is a quick one today. I didn't feel like making this one 10 minutes, just, you know, wouldn't feel right, honestly, but it was 10 hours of my time spent, and, you know, I feel like I was rewarded pretty well for it. Overall price check, rounded up, does come out to be about 2.1 mil. You're looking at over 100 Renar herbs and 768k from the alchables. Got a little bit of defense XP as well, nothing too crazy, but it all stacks up, and just like the loot tab, everything really adds up at the end of the day on this account. Looking at the Rune Light tab here shortly, it does show about 2,240 kills, but we can assume that's probably closer to 2,400 to 2,500. Opened up a little bit of clue scrolls that I had in the bank, finally did those last night, and I tried another Zulrah kill out. So you guys might get 10 hours of Iron Man Zulrah, but it is very difficult. If you guys have any advice for me, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And that is about it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow night with another one, and thank you very much for all of the support as always, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.